Skydiving. Oh my gosh, it's hard to believe that I did that. Seems like yesterday. Seems like yesterday. That song by Bob Seger. Oh my gosh, and it's like at the end he's like against the wind. I feel like an eagle when your like arms are way spread out against the wind. I love the ending of that tune. Yeah, Tom Petty too. Free falling, free falling. Oh, right. Yeah, so skydiving was quite the experience for me. I did that when I was 18 years old. And yeah, that was a big not a turning point for my life, but I mean, geez, it was an kind of an initiation into, adulthood. Just one of the things that people do, or, to kind of have that initiation into adulthood. There's other things, obviously. I don't know. I'm Libra too, so maybe Libras kind of learn about extremes, and this is definitely one of those moments where it's super extreme, but it's something that I wanted to do. So that's what I wanted to talk about. It's something that I wanted to do when I was that age, and I really had a desire to do that. And so in I wanted to talk about Mars and Aries in that way, in which we have a desire in us that's very Mars Aries, and then you initiate the things that need to happen to make that happen. It's those themes have to do with taking risks and having courage and having a desire, um, um, and to initiate to initiate something new, you know. And so when you're doing something like that, it has I want to talk about the north node and the south node. Um, that means like in astrology, the south node represents safety and the known and the familiar and secure, and we have those things within us and without us. And when you're sitting in a plane, there's like that's your security. You're about to leave all of this stuff behind and you're about to jump into the unknown, into the future. That is the north node. Okay, and so the north node is opposite the south node always, and that has to do with the future. So we've got the past south node and the future, or I did it the other way. So yeah, the past south node and then the future north node, and yeah, the future, moving into the unknown, the unfamiliar, the insecure, and going forth into a new place. Now, when we're talking about the north and south nodes, we don't want to completely leave what we have behind. We want to use these things as kind of our toolbox and use them to combine and move forward with to get to kind of a soul's intention theme towards our future, our destiny. So this has a lot to do with that. I wanted to bring that up, especially during eclipse season. These themes of past and future, right now it's Taurus and Scorpio. These themes, are kind of really powerful right now, and also past and future and dealing with that. So getting into that plane, and I'm in there and I'm scared. Obviously, I'm about to do something that is scary, and there comes a time when you're in that plane that it's time to go and it's time to jump. There's a small window of time to do that, and when they say it's time, then you get up and go. And of course, there's some scariness to it. I mean, you can kind of think maybe for some people like getting on stage and performing, you might have fear, or maybe like public speaking or something like that. I'm totally fine being on stage and playing. um, Public speaking maybe not so much, but I feel like I'm learning that a lot now, doing these sorts of things. But there comes a point when it's time to go and do this. I signed up for this, and it was time to do that. And that's when you're really in the present moment. You don't really have the time to worry, think too much. It's just, this is what I'm trained to do, is what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. So let's go and do it, and see what it comes. And yeah, it's frightening when you're getting into something that is has to do with your personal safety and death, especially. When I think back at it, I'm like, my gosh. They had to put weights in my jumpsuit because I don't weigh that much. I still don't. But I remember they had to do that. And so you're at a point where you're at a threshold here. You're about to cross from the known and safe into the unknown and unsafe. Okay, there's a threshold here. And these things happen in our lives. These things come up into our lives. Okay, this was something that I chose, um, but it's also, uh, you know, uh, in our lives, a lot of these things aren't chosen by us, and things in life just kind of come that we have to take care of and go through and do. And no matter how scary or difficult they are, uh, it's out of our control, and we have to jump. You know, So, here I am in the plane, and then, when it's time, then you get up, and I'm like crawling to the door. I'm gonna stand up, and then they set you. We get out. It's two trainers and me, and you step out of the door, and you step onto this like plate that's on the wing. It's like this big, I swear, like that big. And you step onto that and you look down and there's like the earth, and I swear it doesn't look real, which helped, you know. It didn't look real. You look down and you're like, that doesn't look real. I can do this. Let's jump into that. But so you step up there, and then it's your job to initiate the jump. It's one, two, three, go, and you do that. And so you get out there, and it's just you don't there's no wasting time. It's you step onto that, you're out there, and then it's one, two, three, and then you jump. And this isn't a tandem jump, so there's a trainer on each side of me. When we jump, they hold on, you know, one on this side, one on the other side, grabbing here and on your leg, and then you jump, and you're out, hands out, flying. You're not flying, you're dropping, okay? As you're dropping at like whatever terminal velocity is, it's over 100 miles an hour, 125, something like that. And there comes the time again where it's time to open the chute, and when that happens, your guides let go of you and you're on your own. Okay, so much like life, these my teachers, instructors, they represent, teachers, parents, guides. There's they only lead you so far, and then it's your turn. It's time for you to go move forward without them. Okay, and it's crossing a threshold, your own path. Okay, um, so that's difficult, but there's no, during that time, yeah, there's no thinking. It just happens. So then they let go. And then this is where training kicks in. They teach you most of the day on safety and what to do if there's an issue. So you're trained really well. Well, when my chute opened, it was all twisted up like that. And you're still falling. There's no drag, so it's just, you're still free falling. And so I did what I was supposed to do, like riding a bicycle. I was pushing it, and it spins you the other way. And so I saved my life. It happened quick, and I was able to just not even figure it out. It's just, if this happens, you do that. If this happens, you do this, that. And so luckily, I just kept my composure and did what needed to be done in the moment. And then it opened, and my gosh, I was so happy. I remember that. And then you're just floating there and floating down, and you have to guide yourself down to the correct spot the landing spot. So you're just like, watching, and they're kind of guiding you from the ground with a radio, saying turn left, turn right, and stuff like that. So, then there's the landing and making the landing, and my mom and dad were there, and it felt great. But a lot of times, you, I got applause and some very nice things said to me for doing that when I landed, and a good job and all of that. But a lot of things in our life when we're going through a challenging time or even awesome times, sometimes we go through those things ourselves and we don't get the applause or the accolades or the recognition. And so it's up to us really to do that for ourselves as an element of self-love. It's super important to think about this and be conscious of that. Like, pat yourself on the back. Man, nice work. Really, really good job. We need that. And we don't need that from other people. That's why, doing it for yourself is just really important. Okay? Um, so, what else? I chose to do this, and it was a positive thing to do. Um, I think about my parents, about how, you know, difficult it must have been at the time. We think about when we let our kids go and do something that's dangerous, or there's like a loving detachment that needs to happen. When or even a friend or a good friend, they're doing something. You just gotta kind of let them experience things on their own, and have trust, and give them the best support that you can. Any support helps another person, even if it's just a mind mental thing towards somebody or something like that. Good intentions and everything. But like I said, sometimes these things in our life we don't get to choose, and they just are happening to us, and we have to go through them. It's part of the you know part of life's adventure. So I gained a lot of experience doing that, and it's a talisman for me to remember that some I did accomplish that, and I can use that and remember when something up comes to me that is a challenge, and think back to that sort of thing, and it helps me move forward. And we learn, and we were not the same person we were after a major event in our lives, and we grow from them. Another thing, check out my blog. I write this out in greater detail, and so I hope you read that. And it's just uh, it's just an interesting thing. I wanted to share this because I thought it had to do with Aries, and it also has to do with the Uranus, as well as the nodes. Uranus has a lot to do with doing things on your own and unexpected events, and kind of the call to adventure, and the call to adventure when it's not your choice too. You know, so I wanted to bring that into the mix as well. So enjoy the blog. Thank you for being interested in all this stuff, and I'm happy to share this moment in my life with you. And for me to just remember that, I went to visit my parents, and they had this photograph, and it was funny because that day all sorts of skydiving things were coming through in my consciousness, which is in the outside world. And then I saw this photograph. I'm like, wow, I gotta, all of these synchronicities. When synchronicities are happening, you gotta really pay attention and be like, something is on track here. And so I dug in deeper, which is like I like to do with mystical work, is really think about it, and how it affects me. And how experiences, that experience from my past helps me now in the future, helps me now in the present and the future, and how it helped me. And I can be, sharing that wisdom with you. So thank you once again, and make the jump, and you're guided and protected. And some things were just meant for, some things our subconsciousness guides us to, and we don't know, but they're meant for us, whether they're good or bad. Um, positive or negative in those words, or in quotations, because jewels are found in the dark. There's certain things that we feel can be really horrible or happen, you know, or really good things, but you never know what comes out of that. You know, you never know what comes out of those sorts of things and the wisdom that you get from them, or maybe you help somebody. That's kind of Chiron. You go a, through something, or you have a wound of something, and then you really dig in and try to understand it, and then you can help somebody else with it. There could be a time in your life where there's a situation where you're helpful to somebody because you've been through something similar. But it works. Our experiences work in so many ways, and they're meant for us. You could say that we signed up for these things, like our souls signed up for these before we, entered into the earth, when we, grew out of the earth, and through our moms, bodies. And happy Mother's Day also. So birthing, that's the magical initiation into life, this consciousness. But I digress. So make the jump. You're guided. Much love. Bye.